Hey, so this is Neil. How you guys doing? I'm going to do a sped up, this is a sped up version of my watercolor. There on the right was the finished version. Here was a pen sketch, which I wish I would have stuck to. I wish I would. That design is superior design than what I end up going with. But I did come up with some really cool, interesting effects that, especially with the blood on the blood. I'll show you in the end here a close up of that. This looks really gruesome and really cool. It'd be great for, anyway, like monsters and aliens. So I lay down some just base colors here. Now, usually when I first start a watercolor painting, I'll lay down one base color only, like the main color I want to kind of come through all the other colors, usually like a sepia or a kind of a pink or blue, depends what I'm going for. In this case, I decided to use the main colors for the face and the head. Now, when I come here with the blue, I'm being very careful to only use, when I do the shadows on the face, just very, very little blue in the water. I mean, it's mostly water. And remember, watercolors will dry lighter than what they appear when they're wet. So always make sure to let them dry before you continue on. Every now and again, what I'll do is if I get impatient, I'll blow dry. So I'll try to move around as much as possible, do different parts of the paintings. Go, okay, hey, this part over here is dry, I can do some more work on it, and then while another part's still wet, right? So like, let's say I'm working on the hair, like, okay, the hair is kind of wet, I'll come down here, work on the blood, or work on the mouth, or work on the eye, or something like that, while the hair dries. Now if I find myself just stuck with nothing to work on because everything's too wet, then I'll go ahead and I'll hit it with a blow dryer, and blow dry it really good, make sure everything's really dry. Then I'll continue on and keep going. One thing that's really important is right around this stage right here, I'm thinking, okay, I don't like this watercolor painting. But I'm glad I saw it through to the end because it came out to be a pretty interesting piece. But compositional wise, I should have stuck with my original ink sketch. That was a much better composition. This composition is kind of boring. It's kind of square. So hey, I figured, we can all learn from my mistake here. And so I did all this, this cool work to a kind of lame composition. It's not the worst composition in the world, but it's not the best either. And also, I didn't like his eyes. I like this original idea of just kind of changing the Joker's eyes to have this kind of like, spike star through it. But I decided, I probably shouldn't have done that. It kind of didn't fit. Another thing I didn't like is I put the hair right through his eye, and I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I should have left it like the ink sketch where it's going around his eye. But actually, I'm working on another one right now. I just finished a sketch to it, and man, it's got so much energy, so much anger behind it. It's really cool. I'm going to do it with a lot of reds. But anyway, so you notice here, just working layers. Be patient with your watercolors. That is another Joker one, and then this one is from my imagination, just like this one was. And sometimes, I don't know, I should have paid more attention to the sketch. I mean, like, what, that's what I should have gone with, that ink sketch. But hey, you live and learn. Right, so this is a Uniball pen. It's a really, really, really cool tool, and it's from Japan. If you're wondering what tools I'm using throughout the painting, I'm using Terataki Japanese watercolor paints. They're absolutely fabulous. You get a big old set of them for like under $40 after shipping. And the Terataki brush. It's one of their I can't remember what size it is, what they call it, but it's their main saber brush. Really awesome. The Go Hair brush is cheaper, but I don't think it works as good. So yeah, that saber brush is just absolutely fantastic. I did the whole painting with just pretty much that one brush. The only thing at the very beginning there to cover some of the hair with a bunch of wash, I went ahead and used a bigger brush for that. This Uniball pen is really awesome too, and it's really great for getting in fine details. And it'll go over everything. It'll go over Sharpie even. There's nothing it won't go over as long as you let the watercolor dry. And so you got to really blow dry it really good or something. That's a black Prismacolor inking pen. It has a brush side, and I use that brush side. So the brush side basically feels like a paintbrush. Really cool. Anyway, so overall, I add some blue back in the white there for the eyes. I also add some yellow back on some of the lines of the hair, and then kind of dab it away so it's not too bright. And it's pretty much finished now. I'm just gonna go ahead and blow dry the eyes. I want to add a little bit more red back into the eyes. And like I said, this isn't a piece I'm super proud of, but I figured it's something you can learn from. So I try to stay away from square designs. Notice how the blood goes up and the hair on the other side goes down, and it kind of makes this for kind of a square type of design. And the design you'll see here of the black and white is much, much better. And I like how the black on the one side and the other side, kind of juxtapose each other. But nonetheless, it's really cool. I really like the gruesome effect of the blood. Here you can see it up close. And then here's the sketch I'm talking about where the composition was much better. I should have stuck with that for the watercolor. But hey, you live and learn. Thanks for watching.